This is the Wheatgrass King gearbox disassembly video. Here we have the Wheatgrass King. The first thing you need to do is remove the lid, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on either side screws, and you also might as well do the front plate screw and back plate screw here. If you do that on both sides, the lid will come straight off like that. Then you'll want to do on the bottom 2 screws here for the front plate, 1 screw here for the back plate. At that point, you can remove the back plate, which has the wires connected. And what we need to do now is prop it up vertically so that we can open up the gearbox, which is filled with grease. And we do that by putting it into the vise here. So here the motor is in the vise. It has clearance for the fan to turn. Next we'll be removing the front plate, which has these hex screws, 6 of them. Once you have the screws for the front plate off, you want to use a hammer and gently knock up around the edge of the front plate. A little more than gently, actually. All around the edge. So once the front plate comes up, which comes straight up like that, inside there's the green seal, and there's also the coupling seal, which is this black rubber piece inserted there. Alright, here we have 2 gears and 4 bearings in total inside the gearbox, in addition to the grease. So there's 3 of the smaller size bearings like this, 1 large size bearing, and there's 2 gears. 1 here, which is the coupling gear, which is attached to this piece here, and this is a secondary gear. To remove the order in which you remove it is this small bearing, then there's the bearing that's down underneath this gear, and then the final bearing is under the secondary gear. So to remove the bearing, you'll use a bearing puller set up like this, and when you screw that on, that just lifts it up, and that'll come right straight up. Now once you remove the small bearing from there, you want to bring up the coupling and very just gently with a pair of screwdrivers wiggle that up directly up. That should come straight up and then easily lift off. Okay. Mind the grease. And on the rear side is inset is a seal there. Then you're going to use again the bearing puller for the bearing underneath the coupling gear. So you just loosen it to put it on. To get out the second gear, you want to use a large flathead screwdriver or a pair of them. Go deep underneath and then twist it to gently lift it up. You want to try not to damage the teeth too much. Wiggle a little. Twist the screwdriver so it lifts it up. Just work it, keep working on it. And in this case, the final bearing came attached to the gear, but in some instances you have to use recorded. All right, so we have a hammer pull, which is another way of getting a bearing out if it's stuck in its slot like this. Basically, you just insert that, tighten that up so it grips it from the inside, and then you're going to hammer up on this to pull it out. And so you may need one of these to do the repair properly.